Hey folks, Corey Brown here, coming to you with yet another sales tip. This one today is about giving options, proposing options when you're asking a customer to buy something. Look, Harvard Business School studies everything in the world, and there's statistics and studies on this. If you give somebody one option and lay it in front of them and say, do you want it? You got a 50-50 chance, right, of them saying no, right? If you give somebody three options, lay it down in front of them, at least you increase your odds of them saying yes to something, okay? So you need to take that formula and put it in your business if you don't have it already. Had I learned this early on in my sales process or my sales career, I would have made a lot more money. When I first started out, I would do my research and analysis and make my own opinions of what I thought the customer needed and wanted based on the information that I have gathered in my meetings and the information they'd given me. And when I'd come back to a closing meeting where I'm proposing something, I would say, look, here's the option you need, and here's the financial justification for it, and here's what it is, and this is what you ought to have. And I'd basically cram it down their throat, hoping that they'd like it and and want to buy it. But many times I lost sales in that process as well, because I didn't come with multiple options. Many times I kept them, even though I had them in the back of my head, they were in the bag. I didn't even pull them out. Because I was so focused on selling this one, premium option that we have. So I say that to say, hey, look, man, relax. Your customer might not want to be force-fed what you think is the best thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I certainly will still today share my opinion, but I will still give them several options and help them understand. So you got a low, medium, and high, priced option, and in line with that is value, low, medium, high value, low, medium, and high scope of work that you're doing, right? So, and what's included in those different prices of service. So many times I'll still give my opinion, right? Of, hey, look, if you want my opinion, I've done this for, 15, 16 years, and here's what I see work best, and after running the financials for your particular facility or your particular operation, here's what I feel is, if I'm sitting in your shoes and have put myself in your seat to try to make this decision, here's what I think, but there's several options here. That is a much better approach. It's a little bit softer approach than, force feeding this guy the numbers and statistics and, trying to force feed the what you want him to buy. What happens is, when you come with one option, the customer just can't help but feel like you're pushing your own agenda, right? I don't care if you're just buying a car, right? If you go in and you want to buy a car and the guy shows you one car, there's 100 of them sitting on a lot, but he wants to sell you this one car. Why wouldn't he show you two or three, right? Or is there a used option to this that I can get more options on it for a little bit lower price, and but it's a year old, right? Why wouldn't somebody do that? I mean, most people, I'm not slamming car dealers, that most of them do have those options. But what I'm telling you is that if you present options, you will close more business, okay? I don't care if you're not all that great at the financial selling model or the challenger sales style or whatever, right? If you just take it from, hey, I'm proposing one thing and I get a yes or no to that, to I propose three things at three different levels of prices and scope, and I present those three things, the guy that proposes three will close more business than the guy that proposes one. That's all there is to it, okay? It's just the statistics and math work out that way. So there's a lot of other benefits for proposing, multiple options. You don't want to go too high from what the studies tell us, just because you confuse the issue. The magic number is like 3 from what the studies say, if you're giving options. But what you don't want to do is typically go in with one option to say yes or no to, unless the customer's already just dialed it right in and says, this is what I want and this is the price range that I needed to be in, give it to me and I'll sign it, right? That can be done, and it's done all the time. But what I will tell you, the only catch-22 in that, even if the customer's like, hey, here's what I want, write it up for me and we'll sign it. There is an opportunity for him to be talking to somebody else, not you, but that somebody else actually said, hey, Mr. Customer, have you thought about these other options? Somebody used their brain to get inside his brain, and the guy said, well, no, I hadn't even considered that. So in the time it took you to go back to your office, write up the proposal, you set another meeting with him next week, he's already changed his mind because somebody used their brain to offer him value that he didn't understand that he could get. Okay, so then all of a sudden, you've lost the deal because somebody came up with better ideas and showed more value than what you were doing because you were taking orders, okay? In the sales world, we got to be very careful not to just be taking orders. We got to be building value. We got to be showing value and presenting the value because the customers don't always know what we can do and don't always understand the value that we can create for them. So it's your job to think outside the box. Even if they've told you, here's what I want, give them 2 other options anyway, just so they know they're available. I do that all the time. Even if it's not something that they need right now, a lot of times I will just let them know that there are options down the road so that they know there are options down the road. So if some other cat comes in there and starts presenting something similar, they remember, oh yeah, Corey showed me that, and I can get that with my current vendor, right? So it doesn't take them jumping out of the relationship to get what they want. They can get that from you. Okay, so present options. Make sure your customer understands what value you can build for them. Don't leave it up to them to understand it all themselves right up front. A lot of times they don't or are too busy to wrap their brain around it in the hour that you're going to meet with them. So make sure you're building value, present those options, close more deals. If you want more information about how to build your options and what's going to be the best, feel free to reach out to me at CoreyBrownSales.com. All my information's there. I'm happy to come to your office and help you do this sales thing a little better. Have a great day.